Hello, this is Malorian. We're now on to the second game of the Alberta GT tournament. And at this time, I am really sick. Between the first game and the second game, I was in the bathroom puking. Coming back, already warned the tournament organizers I might have to leave. And I mean, it's the GT, and I don't want to, but I'm freaking sick. If I was back in Edmonton, that was it. It was done. Because I was off in another city, 3 hours away. Okay, maybe I should stay. Then I'm talking to my opponents and saying, you know what, just to warn you, I might have to run off. 5 minutes into deployment, I'm running off, puking 4 more times. I got puke on my pants, got puke on my glasses. At that point, I'm thinking like, yeah, I should really leave. But there's one thing that's holding me to this game, and it's my opponent. It's a guy that on the YouTube here where I post my stuff, he's usually on there, correcting me and all the stuff. Like, to me, like, whenever I see him, see that he has a comment, I know he's going to be correcting something I did, and I just got to play this guy, right? Or else I'll never hear the end of it. So that's what holds me in. I clean myself off, I go back to play the game, and yeah, it's Ogres. So that's another thing, I got my green skins always beats Ogres thing too. I really got to prove too. The game is actually going to be this weird kind of like actual battle line one, but really the only change to it, they took out the whole fog of war that they had in the initial one, and what they have now instead is just the whole thing where if you're fleeing at the end of the game, you're destroyed, and if you're half destroyed, you give half points. So there you go, and let's go kill some Ogres. Alright, so here we are looking at his army from the left side. He has these lead belters, the BSBs in there, so I know that's got to be the flaming banner. Back there he has his big, super cannon, then some Mournfang. In the back he has a big unit of Iron Guts, and in there he has his Slaughter Master. Those are the only two characters here. Otherwise, on the side here, he has a little small group of ogres. Then he has these man-eaters, and in there they have what? Snipe and poison, and then also some more Mournfang on the far right. Otherwise, this is what the main battlefield looks like. There's my stuff from left to right. I mean, my list is at the beginning. But for the most part here, I'm feeling not too bad. Like, obviously, he put everything there on the right. My trolls are kind of by themselves on the left. You can see there's a saber tusk there for them to fight with. There'll be a saber tusk that's on the right as well. But hey, he should be able to kill that saber tusk as he tries to redirect me and then get around. And then, worst case scenario, if he does get around me, well, then I got my bunker with the fanatic. I'm starting with my shaman in the back rather than the front because I don't want to be death sniped. I don't want those man-eaters to shoot me, Hellheart, all the usual ogre worries. So that's why I'm back there. And really, the plan is just to go and beat him at range and then beat him in combat when he comes in close. Alright, so he gets first turn, and he doesn't really move up very much, which makes me very happy. The Mournfang are in a scary position there on the right. His man-eaters go into the building, and from his shooting he kills 2 of my wolves, but luckily they don't panic. So that's pretty awesome, and otherwise that's his first turn. On my first turn, I have one of my rock lubbas explode, so that's always helpful. And then otherwise it looks like this. So I got my battle line kind of set up here. I was able to shoot down and kill a couple of the Mournfang there on the right. And the best thing about Mournfang is that they're only leadership 7. So all I have to do is kill one and have to do a leadership test. And if he would have failed, he would have ran off the board, ran over the Mournfang behind him, and probably, the saber tusk, and probably panicked the saber tusk too. Unfortunately for me, he passes his leadership test, so hey, what can you do? But otherwise, yeah, I think I'm sitting pretty good here. The wolves are there to redirect, and yeah, life is good so far. So looking at his turn, he's able to kill off the wolves. He's still just kind of sitting there on the right. Pretty much at this point, yeah, I mean, sometimes he does his little magic buffs to buff things I don't really care about, so if I don't mention it, that's all it is. But otherwise, after his turn here, yeah, I mean, again, doesn't really get too much done. I haven't lost anything from any of my blocks. He's really just repositioning. I've just lost the 2 small units so far, and I'm getting pretty close at clearing out, the Mournfang on the right, getting some points there. So on my turn, I move over the chariots to go and redirect the Mornfang there from the right. But really what happens is that I'm able to kill them. So the Mornfang on the right, totally gone. Don't need to worry about those guys anymore. Got some points in the bag. And otherwise, yeah, still sitting back. I would love to be getting some Foot of Gork down here. You know, I'm assuming he has the one banner that stops me, but on the one unit. But man, I just can't get that spell off. Otherwise, over here, what's happening is this hurt. I had to go after some dogs, right? And he's been doing some damage to me now with the flaming stuff. But what happens here is that he had the flaming shots take away some wounds, and then the cannon goes through and kills 6 trolls. And this was massive, because whereas before I thought, hey, I can take the wounds, get up there, the trolls can kill him in the end. Yeah, now that's not possible. So now my trolls have to get the hell out of there. So at the end of his turn, it looks like this. He's now killed my chariot, so we're kind of even with points right now. His man-eater's moving up the right flank. Everything looking scary there on the left. But I now have my shaman up there, so I don't have to worry about stupidity. But yeah, all of a sudden I got to worry about these trolls, and I only have 2 combat blocks to be fighting him back with. So on my turn, the trolls are turning around to get the hell away from there. I wish I could hand a Gork them, but it did not work. And otherwise, my shooting and stuff doesn't really get too much done. You know, I'm just doing a few wounds to his middle Mornfang, but nothing really major. And again, can't get Foot of Gork. His turn then, you know, trying to kill the trolls before they get away. Otherwise, he's trying to push up more with his units. I think he sees now that the range game isn't working to his favor, so he's really getting a lot of things lined up with the Savage Orcs. I'm not really too excited about that. But not much I can do it with all my redirectors being dead. So on my turn, the trolls are booking it. Savages go back 2 inches. And shooting, yeah, I really hope that I could panic the man-eaters on the right, do my shooting into them. But again, I'm just scattering and failing and can't get Foot of Gork to save my life. So what can you really do? On his turn, though, this was massive. All 3 of these units go to charge my savages. He failed them all. Now, I figured he'd probably make 1, maybe 2 of them, and I thought that actually might work to my favor. But man, if he would have made all of these, I just would have been dead. If he would have made 2 of them, I would have been in a lot of trouble. So this was a big moment because, hey, he made none of them. So fantastic. And now I can just have my choice of the litter to what I want to kill. Otherwise, he runs up his Mornfang just to block me. And I don't worry about that. I mean, that means I get to kill his Mornfang, but he's really making sure I don't get to his big group there. Otherwise, he's trying to hunt down my trolls, but that's kind of a lost cause at this point. My turn. This is my big charges here. So I got the Black Orcs going into the Mornfang, Savages going into his main bunker there, and yeah, they'll be able to mess up those Iron Guts before they get the swing. Otherwise, oh, this is beautiful. This turn was fantastic. So I finally get Foot of Gork to work. It kills all the lead belchers, kills the BSB, panics his Iron Blaster off the board. That's a ton of points. I destroy his Mornfang, and I mean, because he needs double 1s, I don't bother to chase him. Plus, I mean, remember, if you're fleeing at the end of the game, you count as destroyed anyway, so I don't care about him. I really mess up the Iron Guts. He does have the Stubborn Crown on his Slaughtermaster, though, so he does hold. But hey, whatever. You know, I should be able to clear off the rest of those Iron Guts before the end of the game, and then whatever's left, I can just go in there and counter with my Black Orcs. So not too bad. So on his turn, he goes and destroys the 1 War Machine, goes into the flank of my Savages, beats him up good. I'm not quite able to wipe out the Iron Guts, but hey, there's still a little bit while longer. But the thing that was bad is that he held. I mean, I thought my Savages would break, and this is where my Black Orcs would come in, but no. Oh, I couldn't believe it, but hey, this is what happens, and hey, at least now I can just shoot up the man-eaters. So, on my turn there, I shoot up the man-eaters, you know, kick their butt good. At least I got them under half. They did not break. The thing that sucks in the center is, again, I could not break the man-eater, or sorry, the lead belcher. The big thing here, though, is the killer to this whole thing is the fact that he got off the regeneration. And I let the regeneration go off because, hey, my Black Orcs have the Flaming Banner. I don't care, so for the counterattack. But it saved him that goddamn Iron Gut. So there you have it. At the end of the game, we added it all up. It turned out to be a 12-8 victory for the Orcs and Goblins, so that's a really good result. Obviously, the way it worked out, it was very cagey. And so, of course, when you have something like that, the points aren't going to be very big, right? I think I had a slight advantage at the range game there for the wins and losses. He fails, I counter kill a unit, he counters kills a unit, and in the end, I'm just a little bit ahead. So there you have it. I mean, obviously the Foot of Gork did some serious work there at the end, but the big thing is that if it could have done its serious work earlier, this could have been a much different game. I mean, really, if I can get off that Foot of Gork, normally not first turn because you get scrolled. Second turn is usually where it comes down. If it messes up those lead belchers first turn, those trolls are pushing up and they're in the face. So really, that really kind of changed the way the game went. If I would have had that, wouldn't have been so cagey. But you know, one of the things that also is kind of funny too is I didn't know his list, of course, going in. Turned out he didn't have Hellheart, so the whole time where I was worried about, you know, oh my God, I'm having to get my shaman closer, I'm going to get zapped. It didn't actually work out that way. One of the things, again, I was feeling really bad for my opponent thing here, where again, I like thinking that my opponents have lots of fun and all this stuff, but I was pretty much at this game like sitting down, and I never sit down at tournaments, but I'm just kind of like sitting down, rolling dice, like I'm like a half-dead zombie. So I can't think that my opponent had much fun playing against me whatsoever, playing a cagey game against like a zombie type guy. One of the things that was really nice though is when I was talking to him, he said, you know what? It actually turns out he's only been playing for about a year, and he's just one of these guys that's a stickler for rules. It's not like he's trying to be a rule Nazi or anything. He's just trying to say, like, hey, you got this rule wrong. You know, this is the way it works. And he just wants to make sure that people watching battle reports don't get the wrong idea and think that things work a different way. So there you have it. I got babies going crazy, and we'll catch you later. Bye.